It was down. She was in the wheelchair. My
Yeah.
son was carrying her around.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I feel good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
Yes,
He done
yes,
saved my
yes,
baby.
yes, yes.
She want to go out. She
Yeah.
hanging with her friends. She went
Yeah.
back to her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to work because I
Yeah.
had been off for months by then.
Yeah.
Went back to work. And then one day she called me and she was at home and she said, she was crying and she said, Mom, I'm in pain. And I'm like, what? And we're still doing her regular appointments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I rush over there because she just lived around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And she's crying in tears. And I'm like, well, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Because she had been fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, my back. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because that's where the radiation and stuff is at. I'm like, okay. So they rushed her to the hospital. The ambulance came. They took her to the hospital. And then from there, we were in and out the hospital up until she passed away.
Yeah, yeah. And that's like really important. I think that they need to also change the age group on how they tell you if you're under 40, oh, probably you don't have it. You're okay.
Right.
You only get a mammogram when you turn 40 and upwards.
Right.
And no, you can actually have it prior to the age of 40.
Right.
And sometimes because you're younger, sometimes people in the medical industry feel like, oh, it's in your head. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you're okay. Yeah. Oh, it could probably be this without them actually.
Because they gave her antibiotics at first. Because her lump was under like the armpit area.
Okay.
So they thought she had an infection in her glands.
Okay. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah.
So didn't really do no tests or nothing.
No, they referred her to get it done, but no, nothing was done right away. They just thought she had infection in her sweat glands.
Yeah.
And then me as a mom, I had that before. Okay. So I was like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And she took the antibiotics and it went down. But, she's not living with me.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing her every day, Right. And just one day I got a call in the middle of the night and she was in the hospital. And I'm like, the doctor introduced himself and I'm like, where's my grandson?
Yeah.
Right. I was like, where's my grandson? What's wrong with him?
Right.
And he's like, I don't know, but your daughter's here. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And he's telling me that they did a certain scan and she told him she had a lump and he said, I'm just going to be straight with you. I think it's cancer because her back was hurting and they did a scan on her spine and seen holes in her spine.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I think she has cancer. She needs to go see someone.
Oh, my God.
And so that's how I found out. I was like, what?
So this is an emergency.
Yeah, because her back was hurting.
Yeah. I think that's pretty dope that he's like, hey, no, I did a little more looking into this. Not going to just give her the same old treatment that she got. Yeah. And it could be worse.
Because they found holes in her spine. And he said, it's cancer. I think it's cancer. She needs to go get checked for cancer.
Wow. And could your mind even process that?
Because I'm still trying to wake up. I'm just like, what?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And he puts her on the phone and I'm like, Adri, it's okay. She's crying hysterical. Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. I said, where's Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
And her best friend had him. I said, okay. And I said, well, you just need to come home.
Yeah.
You just need to come home.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll come tomorrow. She was in the North area, Kaiser North.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And I said, well, it's okay. We'll just handle it from here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then from there, did she come to stay with you or did she go
Not immediately. Oh. Once she got to the point to where it was like crippling her, that's when she did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was like so devastating to even hear, because she wasn't old and she wasn't, not that saying that people who are wild and all of these things and,
Of course not.
disrespectful to their parents, even though there is a scripture that says that, honor your father and mother, that their
Yeah.
days may be long upon the earth that the Lord thy God giveth thee. Not saying that, but it's like devastating. And
Yeah.
it's shocking because
hmm
it's like she was just okay,
Right.
a little bit ago. And so then it's like, what did I miss? How
Yeah.
did I miss this? Like what? But I mean, when you're not a physician and a physician misses it, how do you know?
Right.
And so it's like hard to deal with that. And so did you have to like did she go into a stage of like having to take care of her like a small baby? Or
hmm
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, she had diapers.
Okay.
She had, just like the baby, she would, we would have to help her, wipe her up,
Right.
shower,
Right.
shower chair. But yeah.
Right. Right. And so then it's like, do you kind of get that feel of this is my baby? You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like
Yeah. The night
it's just my
before, the
baby.
last night before her last final hospital stints, I slept in the bed with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was up because I knew that it was coming.
Did you?
I knew it was. Yeah, we can get to that because God told me it was coming.
Yeah.
But I knew it was coming, and I was calling, several people, and I was videoing her, and I kept telling them like something ain't right. She
Yeah.
ain't normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I'm telling them, but
Right.
I only told one sister
Mm-hmm.
that about a dream that God gave me.
Yeah.
But I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to tell anyone else because I didn't want them to think I was crazy.
Yeah.
You
Why do you
know?
think they were gonna think you were crazy?
Because I mean the dream was like I knew
Yeah.
that it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Do you care to share the dream, or you
no,
want to
I
keep
don't
it?
mind now.
Okay.
But I had told Keely.
I knew that's what
Keely
it was
had
because
came
y'all so
over.
close. Yeah. Well,
It
y'all
was
all close, but I know how
it
close
was
y'all are.
Adri was just having a bad night. I was overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So she came to spend the night with us.
Yeah.
And we were outside after she was calmed down. We went outside just to have a breather and to talk
Mm-hmm.
outside the house. And I told her, and I said, I had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, she's not about to make it.
Yeah.
And Keely said, you can't say that. You got to believe. And I said,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
But I know she's not going to make it.
Yeah.
And she was like, you can't, don't speak that
Yeah.
into existence.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm
understand.
not trying to speak. This is my daughter. Why would I
Right.
speak that into
Right.
existence?
Right.
And I
But you
said,
just know what you know because he showed you, and
yeah.
it's
And I
you just
said,
know.
I keep dreaming about a casket. And I said, I can't see who's in the casket.
Yeah.
And I said, but I'm having this dream. I'm over a casket.
Yeah.
And I said, it's Adri.
Yeah.
And I said, he's about to take her from me.
Yeah.
And, Keely's just like, what? Once she realized, like, no, because,
Yeah. You're
I'm
not
like,
tripping. You serious? Yeah.
and I was like, I wouldn't, I don't want people to think I'm crazy
Right.
because I'm dreaming of my daughter.
Right. Or wishing that she go
Yeah.
ahead and go. Like
Yeah,
it's not
'cause
too
that's
much
not
for me.
that,
Yeah.
not that at
I get
all.
it.
And I was like, but he's about to take her from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when she came home from the hospital the last time, she was just different.
Yeah.
She was just different. She was there, but she was out of it
Yeah.
like a lot. And
Yeah.
same medication, same
Mhm.
pain pills, but it was
Yeah.
just like, Adri,
Yeah.
and she would snap back, huh?
I would say this. It seemed like she was visiting
Yeah, she
away.
would, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm having to feed her.
Yeah.
Here, drink this. She
Mhm.
didn't want to eat.
Yeah.
She really didn't. I was making her eat so that I
Mhm.
can give her medicine.
Yeah.
She didn't need no medicine. I
Mhm.
don't need no medicine. I'm fine.
Oh wow.
And you had to give her medicine like clockwork
Yeah.
because
The pain.
if it started up, it was hard to get it back into control.
Right.
She didn't need no medicine,
Wow.
and she wasn't screaming out in pain or anything,
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And then the morning we were going to set it up so we can get a nurse to come to the house.
Mhm.
She had that appointment. And I was taking Adrian to school. She had a doctor's appointment. When I came back home, I'm like, Celis, you didn't get her out of bed, And he
Yeah.
was like, she used the bathroom. She said
Yeah.
she used the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know she had took her diaper off in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got to go change her.
Yeah.
But she had went number 2.
Yeah.
And I pulled the cover back and I'm like, Adri, because she doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And I said, you used the bathroom. She was like, yeah. Aren't you happy? She didn't realize she was in the bed.
She didn't?
No.
Oh.
And I was like, Adri, you're still in the bed.
Yeah.
She's like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. I was like, no need to be sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do stuff like
Yeah.
that. She will wait.
Yeah.
She will yell for you.
Right.
You know, I'm
Right.
like,
right.
So I'm like, okay. But when I came in, she was smiling. She was like, Mom, I finally used the bathroom. Because, she
Because
would
then
get
that's what I was
constipated.
thinking in my mind. Like, she was at peace.
Yeah.
Like, getting ready to transition. It's that peaceful way. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of went.
And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I got to change your diaper real
Yeah.
quick. And I pulled out. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, Adri.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, Mom, you see? And I'm like, okay. So we go to that appointment. And she kept saying she couldn't breathe. She couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we called the ambulance from the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And got to the hospital. By the time I dropped my son off and got to the hospital, and we were just on Florence. She went to Methodist in Valley High.
Okay.
Dropped Celis off at home down by Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
Came to Methodist.
Right.
Got back there. Because I had to explain to the security guard, like, no, you got to let me back there because I didn't come in with her.
Yeah.
She came in and I said, you need to go get the doctor and tell him I'm here.
Right.
So, but it was crowded. So he
Mhm.
was checking people in, you know.
Yeah.
So when he went back there, they called me back. And the doctor, this is a new doctor. We have not seen this doctor before. This is
Okay.
an ICU doctor.
Okay.
And he's like, well, what's going on with her? And I said,
Mhm.
well, she has cancer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what you mean? Like, you
Yeah.
have the records.
Right.
And he was like, no, she's really sick.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, you know, like, what do you mean? I know
Yeah.
she's really sick.
Yeah.
She has cancer.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's something else going on. We're trying to figure it out.
What do you mean?
Well, the cancer had spread
Oh.
to her liver at that point. So it's hitting internal organs
Okay.
and everything's shutting down.
Okay.
So they knew she had cancer, but they're like, no, it's, you know,
Way worse.
yeah. Like
Mm-hmm. Final
everything
stages.
is, you know, and she had just got out the hospital maybe 24 hours before.
Really?
Yeah. And the test results were totally opposite of what they were when she left.
Wow.
She was transitioning quick.
No way. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like she was preparing and the Lord was preparing her.
Yeah. And we were, what was that? That was like maybe a Friday. I'm
Mhm.
guessing on the days. Maybe a Friday. We spent the night that night in the hospital. She passed the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before nightfall.
Yeah.
So.
Now, that was a huge, like, because when Wens called me, she like, Weedy Weeds. I said, don't tell me. I already know. She passed.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah. She's like, you already knew her. I said, yeah, I just felt like she passed. And so, because she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I had already
Yeah.
felt it and knew. And so then I was just like, man, like, it was still devastating because it was like, I felt you know, she was so young.
Yeah.
And then thinking about how we always want to have our kids bury us.
Right.
And never us burying our kids.
Right.
So an emotion of war, just whirlwind, just kind of just, wow, is just, and I was driving at the time and it was just like, kind of just like zoning off
Mm-hmm.
and just like, wow, like, oh my God. And it's like, man, all I could think about is you and think about her baby, you know, and just begin to pray for the strength of not only you, but him, because it's like, wow, to not have your mom,
Right.
you know, when you get your first girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
when, you know, you get your first heartbreak.
Yeah, the little
And
things.
yeah, you
Yeah.
go to your first game and you won
Yeah.
and all of those things, like, just all of those things. But then I said, wow, that she was so amazing that the Lord wanted her back,
Yeah.
so soon, because she was really that like quiet storm. She really was that quiet storm. So I remember times when she would be even at Wances, and it's like she was always hecka quiet. Like you never really heard much from her.
She
Like
was, yeah.
it's like you would forget she was in the room. If
Because
you
she just
didn't really
sitting there.
yeah,
Just watching and
It's like,
listening.
I'm like, she just be like in her own little zone,
Yeah.
So it was like, a big blow, a whirlwind of emotions. Just like, wow, but knowing that she was just that special, and a gift that you were gifted for a while, but she was so special that it's like you didn't get to keep her forever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and if people really met her or know her, you know what I'm talking about. It's like when people say, when you know, it's like kind, quiet, soft spoken. Did I can say in the many of years that I've been around you guys' family, I have never seen her when being at Went's house, her even being like, like
the other kids.
Yeah. You said it.
I can. I'm antsy.
Right. Yeah, it was never like that at all. It's like, it was always like, oh my God, like she is like really one of one, know. So it was really a blow. But just really just a butterfly, She just was a beautiful black butterfly, that you just had to encounter. And that was just really kind, really sweet. And some of the things that she would say, you would be like, how did she even know that? You know what I'm saying? Like kind of wise above her age at times, to where it's like, who you been sitting around? You been over there at your great granny house, right? That is not of your age, you know what I'm saying? And so it was really a delight, and she was just really an amazing individual, And I'm glad that the Lord allowed her to have a child, and then you have the extension of her child,
Right.
And he's also amazing. It's like just even to endure what he's gone through right now in his young age, it's like some old people, some grown people can't even process that, he yet is to an old thing. He just is like an image of her, just a boy version, so that's the funny thing, is that like, wow, just even the things that I've heard him say, and it's like, who is this old dude in this baby body? It's like, so do you do some kind of remembrance thing in the month of October, because it is, really set for cancers, and especially breast cancer?
Well, last year we did the walk.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll do it this year the way, he reacted when I was trying to take him to the cemetery on her birthday.
Yeah.
I really just want to protect his energy.
Right.
So I don't know if we'll do anything. If I do, I'll tell him about it and leave it up to him whether or not he wants to participate in it.
Do you advise even young people like your nieces, because it's a slew of them, to, get seen, get screened, check themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Are you like now a real advocate of that?
Well, I found out after Adri was diagnosed, my grandma got a hold of her dad's father. Her dad passed away when she was young.
Okay.
But she got a hold of her grandmother, Adriana's grandmother, from dad's side.
Okay.
And cancer, it runs in their family.
Oh, wow.
But I never had a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Because he passed away when she was so young.
Yeah.
We never had a relationship for me to know.
Okay.
That was something that we should have been looking for.
Okay.
Last I heard, she was battling cancer herself,
Oh wow.
like a throat cancer or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of their family kind of have that
And her
history.
mother passed away from breast cancer.
Oh wow.
hmm
That is so crazy. That, like,
So now I know with Adrian,
mhm.
it's something that we're gonna start
She's
getting
looking into
screened
early.
really early.
Oh,
Yes.
see, that's good. And see, and that was a good thing that at least that you have the knowledge
Right.
that you now can say, okay, now I need to be looking, you know,
Right.
and
Any
talking
signs
and
for
asking,
him, right?
yeah, you know,
Yes.
if you're feeling anything, like, you know, just things like that, because it could come and just take over. Just, you know, 1 minute you're feeling well,
Right.
and then the next minute it's like,
It's just you have cancer.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
I thought I had a cold.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it could be far into the stages, like you said. She was already in stage 4.
Had went through it the
Yeah.
whole time. I don't know how long
Yeah,
she had the. I remember her telling. It was long enough to where I do remember her telling me about it. And I was like, "Oh, girl, you better go to the doctor and get that checked out."
right.
And then I remember her telling me, "Oh yeah, they just gave me antibiotics. They said I had a, an infection." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I had that before."
Yeah,
And it was
Yeah.
just like, okay,
yeah.
on with
Now
life.
that's taken care of. Check
Yeah.
that off the box. And so now, you know, like, okay, with him, like, I need to be more, you know, asking and telling the doctors, hey, can you check this? I don't want to be
Right.
checking his parts, but can you check to see?
Girl,
like,
he
hey.
won't even let them.
He won't.
He started crying.
Kitty.
He started crying.
No.
Like the ugly cry too, with the sniffling afterwards. He was not having it.
Well, at least you know ain't nobody gonna be all up in his britches. You know, nobody.
He was like, I was like, Adrian, you have to. It's a doctor. He was like, nobody is supposed to be down there. And I was like, okay. And then my son's like, he will when he gets older. He'll let her do it.
Yeah,
But he will not. Like, he won't. They can do anything else, but they cannot check in his
And see, and that's good because then you know people ain't gonna just
no.
You know
You
what
ain't
I'm
gonna
saying? So that's real good.
He cried 2 times. Each exam. He no.
Wait, so how are they trying to do it? Because he got to do it to play the sports.
No, they don't. They don't do that.
They didn't.
No. They don't.
No.
They just ask me, like, okay, Mom, have you seen them drop? Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
No, because he doesn't get like, defensive or nothing. No, he starts crying, like bawling, crying.
Yeah. I
like
get that.
sad.
Yeah, because it's like you're invading my space and my territory.
He just starts crying and they back off.
Right. I see, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And so when you were processing everything that you had, were you now like, now I'm taking care of my grandson. So, you know, how was that being that you were grieving and then taking care of him? Was he the gift that kept on giving to where you're able to move on because of who he is?
And yes. I don't think it would have been as easy for me if I didn't have him.
Okay.
Because he was my reason. My son's out of high school. He's grown. I did my part. It's up to you for the rest.
Right.
But now I have this child that I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
I didn't do things that I would normally do when someone dies that's close to me.
Okay.
Like turn into drinking.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't, I knew like I had to keep it together. Because I wasn't gonna lose my grandson.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna lose him. Nobody else is gonna raise him.
Come on.
Like
yes, exactly.
I'm gonna keep him, so I can't do anything to jeopardize that.
Right.
I went to counseling.
Oh, good.
I went to counseling.
That is so good.
I got on psych meds. I actually took a leave from work. At first I went back to work.
Did you?
And then I took leave. Yeah, because it was just too much.
Why want to even go back? Were you trying to?
Well, I had already been off for so long.
I know.
And so I couldn't afford it.
Okay.
I didn't have no more of anything.
Okay. That makes sense.
Disability is only so much now. So I had
Exactly.
ran out of everything at that
Okay.
point.
Okay.
And so I went back to work, and for about a month, maybe, and I told my grandma, I said, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
I have to take off. I don't know how I'm going to make it,
Yeah.
but I need to go get some real help.
Yeah.
And she said, do what you got to do.
That's right.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I took off from work. The doctor took me off from work, and I went into intense outpatient therapy.
Okay. What does it mean to say intense?
So I was going 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
And it was for 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Each session.
Okay.
So, and then after that session, you would meet with a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that normal. You come once a week type of
1 hour, then you go home. Okay.
It was 4 hours.
Okay.
3 times a week.
And how long did you do that?
For 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
For 4 weeks.
Did you feel that it helped you?
It did.
Okay.
It did. It definitely did. There was other people there.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. Everybody wasn't grieving the death of
Okay.
something. It was different things going on. But at first, when I first started, I was like, and listening to everybody's story, just sitting there, I'm like, this is not about to help me.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going through what I'm going through,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in the wrong class. Why would they? But I stuck it out. I was like, I gotta do it, So opening up more and starting to talk and engage with the class.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 sessions, like, this is stupid.
Yeah. What?
It was like, because I'm thinking in my head, nobody understands what I'm going through.
But did you even open your mouth to say what you was going through? I'm about to punch you right now.
No, but they were telling their stories.
Okay, but that
so I felt like nobody understands my pain and what my trauma,
right.
Like,
even though you didn't open your mouth.
Yeah, because I'm like, you here because you keep losing jobs?
Yeah.
Like, it was different stuff. So I'm like,
but it's the spirit behind that.
And so it really did end up helping.
That's
I ended up going on psych meds, which helped me at the time to get through.
Okay.
And I stayed on them for a while. I stayed on them up until my niece passed away.
Yeah.
So it was about 4-5 months I was on them.
Okay.
But when she passed away, I just cold turkey just stopped
them
because I felt something, but it was like, dang, that's messed up. My niece passed away.
Yeah.
And that's not me.
I'll be right back. Get your diamonds and them pearls, baby. I'll be